Here we go. Today's video is going to help anybody who is slicing the ball, struggling to compress the ball, but in particular, anyone who struggles with an early release, a cast, lots of dynamic loft at impact, any sort of flip down at the bottom. This video is going to include some tips for things that you can try and look at in order to improve this, and a product review of the Precision Impact by Pure Swing products. So quite commonly what we find is people who struggle with a flip or an early release or a cast, that is basically their way, or that person's way of closing the club face. Okay, and normally the root cause of that fault, if you like, it's not really a fault, it actually helps you if your club face is open, is an open face. So one of the really good things that I like about this training aid here, this is a Pure Swing product here. So basically what you do is, it's really good, it pops on your wrist. You put your fingers in between the webbing here, all the way down, strap it down your forearm. Looks a bit like a Robocop glove, but I actually quite like it. Definitely makes it look like you are using a training aid for sure. Strap that round and you are good to go. So we've got it on. So basically what we see quite commonly, and you'll see this in the video, is an open face in the backswing and then an early release and a cast in the downswing. So what this allows us to do, or what this training aid encourages us to do, is starting to bend the right wrist back. And that is one of the key things to closing a club face. Okay, so this gives us really good audio feedback. So from setup, as you bend your right wrist back, you start to get that audio feedback, that click. And what that bending of the right wrist, that is starting to help us close that club face, or keep it square. It's very difficult to open that face. That's actually sore with that training aid on. So that's what you'll find is bending that right wrist back, and at this key point here, having your right palm more to the floor, and you'll see helps keep that club face parallel with the spine. Okay, so it's not twisted open with lots of loft on it. It's parallel with my spine and it's in a good position. The right palm's facing the floor, and we've preset those wrist conditions in a way that that's going to allow us to have a good club face early on in the backswing. And if we can rotate the way to the top, and we'll find the face is in a better position, then we have a right palm up to the sky because of this. We then have a chance that we can start to hold these angles and keep this leverage, as opposed to releasing the club really early. And that's what we see. If it's the face is really open, you quite often see the early release, the cast, the fishing, the club just flies straight out here in an effort to close that club face. And it's not the most efficient way that you can do it. So if you're struggling with ball striking, that is what we want to try and do, is get that club face closed to square early on in the backswing, so we can maintain those angles and shift the weight forward and come back down into impact in a nice position. Okay, and that's going to really help us strike the ball better, deliver less loft, and just hit the ball further, a more penetrating flight, more consistent contact. So these are the things that we want to try and get. So let's try this out for a few shots. So we release this mechanism before every shot. We're going to set ourselves up as normal, and what we want to try and do is pull this right wrist back. We'll hear that click. That right palm's down to the floor. We turn our way to the top. It clicks a bit more. The right palm's up to the sky. And then we really try and hold that wrist back as we rotate through. Okay, and we can see I overdid it with the club face, which isn't a bad thing, especially for you slicers out there. So then we release that again. Let's go for a normal shot this time. So going from a normal setup, want to hear that clicking early into the backswing. And then hold that angle. That felt good. Just a bit left that time. That felt quite nice. Okay, set up. Click, 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 click. And hold. And what I really felt that right wrist staying back as my body opened up. And this is one of the key things to getting that forward shaft lean that we're after. And if we can get that forward shaft lean, we are going to deliver less loft. We're going to de-loft the golf club in a good way. We're going to move the low point forward, so you're more likely to get balled in the turf. Again, a really, really good thing. And you're more likely to have a consistent face and path. So, lots of good things that can come from this. That is ideally what we're looking for. If we think about this right hand, goes back, palm to the floor, right wrist's bent back. We come up to the top of the backswing, right palm's facing the sky. Again, a lot of you will have heard the analogy. Imagine you're a waiter holding a tray of drinks. Slicers would tend to be here, and the palm's facing forward, and that tray of drinks just spills all over. And then what you'll find is, with that club face would end up it would be super open. Toes facing not a good place to start the downswing from. Hence why lots of people from that position would come over the top and release the club early and give it this flip and give it the scoop, because they have to close the face. Not an efficient way of doing it. Okay, if it works for you time and time again and you can hit the ball really well, then great. If you struggle with ball striking, compression, distance, definitely something to look at. So let's give this a try. So we're setting ourselves up. Ideally we're feeling we're coming back and click. Really feel that right wrist up to the top. Really feel that right wrist again. Bend it back, click, click, click. Turn and hold. Maybe I released it a touch early, but that's what I really like about this. If you release the club early, you get the feedback. You get two lots of feedback with this. You get the audio feedback in the backswing. You can really feel that right wrist bending back, that palm up to the sky. So you hear it and you feel it. And in the downswing, you get the feeling of bending that right wrist back. It doesn't pull you back too much, but it does encourage you to get that position as you come into impact. If you do the opposite and release it, you really feel that you've released the club early. Sometimes doing this without a training aid, you wouldn't really feel it. This gives you the feeling and the audio feedback. So I like this. The precision impact is a really good tool. There's lots out there. I would say this is one of my favourites because it has the audio and it gives you a really good feeling. So definitely one that I would recommend. I've been using it for my own game. I'm definitely quite guilty of having some club face and release pattern issues, and I think this is a good way that anytime I feel like I might be struggling, pop this on, hit 10, 15, 20 balls. It normally feels different when I'm not playing that well, and this can definitely help me get back on track. So if you're interested, there will be an affiliate code in the description below where you can find the Precision Impact by Pure Swing products. Click that link and then there's a discount code below too. So anyone looking for a Precision Impact, click that link, make sure you use that discount code, and I'm sure you'll all enjoy using it. It's definitely not one of those training aids that force you to do something. Not a big fan of those. There's a lot of studies of training aids that force you to do things don't really stick. The training aids that work are the ones that give you really good feedback, and you can get them right and you can get them wrong. Obviously we don't want to rely on this, so what you would do is you would practice with it, maybe even use it as a warm-up, 10, 20, 30 shots each practice session in the house. Right, okay, I want to try and bend my right hand or my right wrist back. I want the palm to the floor when my hands are waist high. Okay, got that feeling. Get to the top of the backswing. I want to bend that right wrist back. I want the palm to the sky. Tray of drinks. Okay, that is going to encourage you to have good wrist angles. You're not going to have any excess cupping, and a good club face at the top of your swing. As we said earlier in the video, root cause of an early release is an open face. So if we can start to close that face in the backswing, we're going to address that root cause, which means you're much, much less likely to flip, cast, early release, strike it poorly. Okay, so if we can work on that, this is a great tool to do so. Also got some reference points. So in that takeaway position, we're looking for the club face parallel with the spine. At the top of the backswing, we're looking for palm to the sky, and we're looking for, at the top of the swing, we're looking for the club face to be parallel with the shoulder plane, if the shoulder plane's good. From there, what we want to try and feel in the downswing, shift the weight forward, bend the right wrist back. So it's going to be elbow, then wrist, then hand. Really feel that bend back, really feel that shaft lean once you've got that club face in a good position. And then we can hit a lot more compressed strikes. That one felt nice. So I think it's a really good tool to get a feeling of where your club face is, get a good understanding of your release pattern. It's not always easy to feel what's happening round about impact. It all happens so fast. So this is a good feedback tool. I do really like it. I think it's really good. It feels strange. I'm not going to kid people on. Using it in my lessons, people find it strange. It definitely takes 10, 20, 30 balls to get the feeling of hitting shots with it on. Definitely is a strange thing, especially if you have maybe some wrist angle issues. Yeah, it's definitely a product that I would suggest using. In terms of slicing, not striking the ball well, flipping at impact, make sure you are checking your club face. Remember that is the root cause in most cases. So if you don't have something like the precision impact, make sure that you're just working on that right wrist position. Just remember, palm to the floor, palm to the sky. Tray of drinks at the top, still a great analogy, still a really good thing that's going to help you get palm to the floor, club face is good, palm to the sky, club face is good. It's not open, we don't have cupped wrist angles, it's not rolled open here, we're in a good position. We're in a good position, no need to flip and close the face because the club face is already in a good position. So definitely worth looking at. If you're slicing, struggling with the contact, work on that club face, feel that right wrist in the takeaway, palm to the floor, up to the top, palm to the sky, shift forward, right wrist bent back, and that's really going to help your ball striking. So give this a try. If you found this helpful, like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell to get all upcoming videos, and thanks for watching.